我没事。
I can't speak to you right now. Something is wrong. Whatever it is, it seems to have affected everyone who is augmented.
You must have felt it too, right? Everyone who was augmented has been getting strange symptoms. I thought it might be neuroblastine withdrawal, but everyone is experiencing it.
世界卫生组织发布了召回公告，你去 LIM 诊所了吗？我很高兴，我从来没用过那些该死的东西。哦，不好意思，现在不应该说这些话。
Did it hit you too? Oh, I thought I was going to die for a second. Give me a chance to recover, and we can find a quiet spot. Now, do you have enough money for me, sexy?
Have you heard about the recall issue by the World Health Organization? Anyone with augmentation is asked to report to a limb clinic. How will this affect the industry? Hengsha is very dependent on the biotech sector. Taiyong Medical practically runs this city.
Jensen, it's Pritchard. Have you been watching the news?
Been a bit busy, Francis.
Jensen, the World Health Organization is advising all augmented patients to check in with LIM. There's a problem with biochip technology.
The glitches I've been experiencing.
We've all had them. So far, I can't determine why.
You heading to a clinic?
I'm running a few more tests. But since I can't exactly run them on you, and we don't know when you'll be back, you might not want to wait. Up to you.
你想要什么，老外？狗娘养的美国佬。你也感觉到了吗？哎，这感觉算是个小毛病，可是他们怎么花了那么长的时间才找出这个毛病呢？联合国的规定看起来是越来越完善了，至少嘛，公司会被监管，而且呢，对自己的行为要有负责。
For days, reports of temporary
怎么回事嘛？为什么我们还在这里没有动呢？
One moment. Excuse me, Mr. Jensen?
You here for recall? There is problem with the peripheral nerve interface. We fixed with upgraded chip. You want it, yes?
I'll think about it.
Clinic is very busy,
Sir.
but if you want something
Sir.
else, we will
Can I
service
borrow
you.
a minute of your time?
You're very welcome, sir.
I am not mistaken. You are Mr. Jensen, right?
That depends. Who's asking?
I am sorry, Mr. Jensen. I am being impolite. My name is Wing Hui. I am a doctor here.
I can see that. What I really meant to ask is, how do you know who I am?
Yes, of course. Excuse me, for I am a bit nervous. Bell Tower agents were here a while ago, looking for a man who fits your description. When I heard what they were saying of you, it occurred to me that you might be exactly the person I need.
Are you trying to blackmail me, Doc?
No, of course not. I assure you, Mr. Jensen, no one in this clinic would dare to turn you over to the police. LIM has very strict rules about patient confidentiality, especially if those patients belong to our partnership program.
Glad to hear it. So what's this all about then?
I'm afraid I won't be able to go into very much details. Not before I know you are really willing to help. But I need someone to help me to stop a very dangerous augmented soldier, and possibly his squad mates. If everything Bell Tower said of you is true, then you would seem the good fit for this job.
Fine, I'll do it. Just tell me more.
Thank you. Now please, understand that I am to give you sensitive information on multiple parties.
I understand, Doc. You can count on my discretion.
I appreciate it, Mr. Jensen. Obviously, you are familiar with Bell Tower and the role they have in this city. What you may not be familiar with, however, is the fact that sometimes they contract limb doctors like myself to work in private clinics on special projects.
What kind of special projects?
What you Americans call black operations. Bell Tower selects some of their best soldiers and make them to be super augmented with experimental, top-secret hardware.
Not to sound too jaded, Doc, but none of that comes as a big surprise. Stuff like that's been going on for years.
Yes. Your government and mine have both been guilty of this practice, I am sure. But Bell Tower is not a government. They are a private corporation. A private army on sale to the highest bidder.
Is this about stopping Bell Tower, then? Because as much as I might hate them right now, I'm only one man.
No. It is not all of Bell Tower I need help with. It is just one of their covert operatives, a man named Michael Zelazny. He was implanted with experimental hardware, and to an extent that is way beyond legal regulations. I am ashamed to say I have operated on him myself, and he has been used in countless secret operations for the Chinese and others.
Sounds like the type of man you don't want to see going out of control.
Precisely. Yet, about a month ago, I have heard rumors that Mr. Zelazny and part of his unit had gone rogue. And 2 weeks later, a city official was killed in a perfectly staged operation. I am certain it was them. And then, a few days ago, Mr. Zelazny contacted me himself. He needed urgent help with one of his squad mates' augmentations.
I take it you said you would help.
They sent me to the back store of a meat shop near Pandang Road, in the Yutzao district. There, I performed emergency repairs on one of the agent's augs, a servo replacement. I believe this back store is their hideout, Mr. Jensen. You must go there and make Mr. Zelazny hear reason.
I'll do what I can.
I am sure you are up to the task. Mr. Zelazny is a soldier, not a maniac. Your unique situation will no doubt resonate with him. And if things do turn sour and he must be terminated, I think you are quite a good candidate to get it done. Or at least survive. So? You have found Zelazny?
You understand that I'm really risking my neck here?
Of course, Mr. Jensen. I'm afraid there is not much I can offer you, but I have a praxis kit I could give you in exchange for your help.
So what exactly am I supposed to do?
You should go to Mr. Zelazny's hideout, the back store of the meat shop in the residential district. I can send the coordinates to your Wayfinder augmentation. Once you get there, try to convince him and his men to turn themselves in. If that fails, I'm afraid you might have to put them out of service permanently, for everyone's safety.
What more can you tell me about this operative, Zelazny?
He is American. His father was a Polish immigrant. His files portray him as highly intelligent, calm, and a fine strategist. He is also a religious man. He joined the army when he was 18. Ever since, he has excelled in almost every aspect of his military service. That is why he was selected by Bell Tower for the Special Operatives Project. At the time, the US Army delegated some of its work in counterinsurgency to the PMC. As for the rest, you will have to learn it from him.
You seem like a decent man, Dr. Wing. Why did you get involved with something like this?
I always act according to my ethics, Mr. Jensen. I love my country. I respect its history, its government, its traditions. Bell Tower is under contract with Hengsha, so I thought I was doing the honorable thing by being loyal. It is not easy to accept that one's beliefs might have been a fraud.
Okay, that's it for now, Doc.
你先听我说完。如果当时我们因为那些故障芯片都死翘翘了的话，你还能像现在这样站着聊天吗？他们说这只是个小毛病，不会危及生命。我可不相信他们，他们从来不说实话。
我老婆总说我有疑心病，我才不管。这次我知道肯定是有什么地方出问题了，他们也广播了，我知道我没疯。 听到他们说他们能修好这个故障的时候，我觉得他们就是在一派胡言。毕竟这是他们造成的，不是吗？
You've got to be the guy Bell Tower are looking for. Am I right? So, what did you do anyway? They really pissed at you.
How are these companies allowed to distribute faulty augmentations to the world? They are playing with people's lives. Biotech corporations are setting their own safety standards, but we all know they only care about profit. Why haven't the government stepped in before this?
Great. I'm here because I have something they're calling the glitch, whatever the hell that is. And now some criminal fugitive guy shows up. No, I can't help you out. Too many people around. Sorry.
你先听我说完。如果当时我们因为那些……
哎，怎么回事嘛？为什么我们还在这里没有动啊？天啊，那么多人！
Returning to tonight's biggest story, the World Health Organization. For days, reports of temporary malfunction and
So I imagine VersaLife's got to have an opinion on things. Think they'll give up all that money they get on neuropozyne sales? Nuh-uh.
They can't have that much influence, not if the whole UN decides to pass restrictions.
Biotech companies have got to be scrambling. TYM, Isolate. They all stand to lose millions.
Zhao Yunru didn't seem concerned in that TV interview she gave. She almost seemed to be welcoming the restrictions.
Yeah, probably because she's made some backroom deal. That's how these corporations work, you know?
Mr. Jensen, Hugh Darrow here. Please forgive this intrusion, but David assured me of your cooperation and discretion. I find myself in need of some assistance.
I'm listening.
A contact of mine, Meng Yao, is in Hengsha, waiting to fill you in. I'll upload her coordinates now.
Let's hope he's as good as they say. Mr. Jensen, right? Thank you for your time. I am Meng Yao, an associate of Mr. Darrow's. I'm in charge of one of his divisions here in Hengsha. You come highly recommended.
Really?
Your boss described you as a most precious asset. Apparently, you are very efficient and always get the job done. We could definitely use a man like you for this operation.
What operation?
We need you to help us stop a group of terrorists who are threatening the Panchaea project. Are you up to it?
Okay, I'll help out.
Excellent. Here's the situation. It has come to our attention that these terrorists possess highly classified proprietary information about Panchaea. We've been able to convince them to sell it to one of our agents, a man named Lo Fei. The meeting is supposed to take place near the Alice Garden pods in the Daigong district.
And you want me to crash this meeting?
Actually, there will not be a meeting. We are sending you alone to ensure Mr. Fei's safety. The terrorists will not be expecting that and will have the information with them on a data chip. You have to neutralize all of the sellers and retrieve the chip so you can bring it to me.
I don't get it. If Fei set up the meeting, why risk sending me in his stead? Why doesn't he or even some of your other agents drop in on the sellers and take the chip?
Because Mr. Darrow wants an absolute guarantee that there will be no casualties. We will not play by their rules. We want them arrested and questioned then properly prosecuted and sentenced. This will require stealth and efficiency. That's why a man with your particular skills will be indispensable.
Anything else I need to know?
The sellers are expecting Mr. Fei and Mr. Fei alone. If they spot you, they will shoot on sight. Need I point out this might make your job a lot harder?
Story of my life.
You must get that chip back, Mr. Jensen.
You've been working for Darrow a long time. How do you like it?
Working for a powerful man ensures I am trusted with crucial tasks and involved in world-shaping events. It's quite exhilarating. You, of all people, should understand this.
What kind of information are we talking about here? What could people be so eager to sell?
I am not at liberty to say.
Any idea who these sellers are?
Nothing substantial. We have a hunch they might be linked to Taiyong Medical, but the data chip will allow us to know for sure.
How's that?
All of our data chips are encoded with unique IDs and binary signature recognition. This means we'll be able to know exactly where it came from and where it went.
I understand this is a favor from Mr. Darrow, but can I expect compensation?
Of course. We do not expect charity, Mr. Jensen. You will receive payment in credits for your services.
Can you give me a quick recap of what I have to do?
You must go to the Alice Garden pods in the Daigong district and intercept men who are waiting to sell classified information to a buyer. You will have to incapacitate all of them and retrieve the chip. Remember, no kills. Then bring the chip back to me. The sellers will shoot on sight, so be careful in your approach.
I think we're done for now.
You see what I got? Come back anytime.
Rumor has it that Hugh Darrow is going to hold some sort of surprise UN summit in Panchaea.
Really? Hey, I know you. You're the one Bell Tower is looking for. I seen your picture.
You got the wrong guy.
What's it worth to you for me to think so? Be a simple thing for me to yell out. Maybe a few credits keep my mouth shut, huh?
How about I find some other way to keep it shut? Permanently.
That won't be necessary. I see now that you're much taller than the man they're looking for.
I thought you might see things that way. Now move it.
Ma'am, have you seen a head dog yet? Right now?
they send you?
If you're talking about your former buddies at Bell Tower, the answer is no.
Wait a minute. You're Jensen, right? I heard that some of my former buddies have been looking for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
An evildoer listens to wicked lips, and a liar gives heed to a mischievous tongue.
You've dropped the merc gig to become a man of the cloth?
Hardly. I just have an interest in theology. And I love quoting the book. Everything in it is so evocative. Now, tell me, are you here to stop me?
Not exactly. I'm here on behalf of someone who wants you to understand reason.
Let me guess. Dr. Wing, right? He's a good man. And I know he's only trying to do what he thinks is right. But he doesn't quite grasp the whole picture here.
Then why don't you enlighten me? Start by explaining why you went rogue.
When an average man decides he no longer shares his employer's views and opts to leave, we say he's handing in his resignation. When men like us do the same, it's called going rogue. You can't quit a job like ours, Jensen. You know that.
Yeah, okay, I can relate. But you still haven't answered my question. And what do you mean when you say you no longer share your employer's view?
Back in the US, when I first got into the army, I did it because I wanted to serve my country. I believed in its values. I believed in its government. Back then, I believed that by serving my government, I was serving the people it was supposed to protect.
Nice sentiment. But you don't work for the US anymore, you work for Bell Tower.
Times change, Jensen. You know the story. Capitalism's final encroachment on one of the most lucrative industries in the history of mankind. War got privatized. The US military offloaded its special operations to PMCs like Blue Water Global and Bell Tower. I believed that as long as they were working for the government, they were serving the same cause. So when they offered me the chance to work on major operations at twice the pay grade, I made my jump.
Why don't we just skip to when things went sour?
Bell Tower outfitted us with top-notch augmentations. The kind of stuff civilians never hear about. Gave us a massive edge over the enemy. Later, seeing as my unit was one of the most successful ones, they selected us for a special program. Top secret, experimental tech. Told us we would get to work on critical black ops for the US government. But there was a price to pay.
Go on.
We had to be implanted with a neural hub that manipulates memory centers in the brain. Basically controlling what you can and cannot remember.
And you agreed to this?
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. The augmentation was supposed to keep us safe, make sure we'd never remember details if we fell behind enemy lines. That was the main function. The second one, the one they didn't tell us about, was to lower our inhibitions. Make us more receptive to orders we'd likely disobey. Bell Tower turned us into the perfect mercs.
If you were so perfect, and the hub made you so perfect, how did it fail? How come they didn't outfit the whole agency?
I told you the tech was experimental. After a couple of ops, I started experiencing memory shifts, remembering bits and fragments of past operations. Slowly, I realized some of these operations couldn't logically have been orchestrated by the government. I was asked to do highly questionable things, even by professional standards.
Aren't we all?
Not like this, Jensen. Our services have been sold to corrupt officials in the American and Chinese governments. A combination of lies and use of the neural aug made sure we complied. We were working for a shadow government. Individuals corrupted by a quest for personal power.
So how'd you get out of it?
I confronted the project director. He quoted Apocalypse Now. You have to have men who are moral, and at the same time who are able to utilize their primordial instincts to kill without feeling. I forced him to disconnect the hub, for me and my squad mates here. And then I killed him. I went through his files and contacts. I know who these corrupt men are now. They've turned us into killing machines, and now they'll get to experience their experiment firsthand.
Listen, I have no doubt these men deserve to die. But you can't simply pass judgment on people. Nothing gives you that right. You have to turn yourself in. Play this by the book.
I'm afraid that's impossible. These men I killed, and these men I'm going to kill, they have names, families. Their deaths shouldn't be erased from my memory by some electronic software. They should haunt me, taunt me, until I finally meet our Lord and pay for my sins. But the men behind this, they deserve to die. And I think there's poetry in the fact that they engineered their own demise.
Listen, nobody here is saying you're wrong to think these men deserve to pay. I agree with you, but make them pay in accordance to the law, not by breaking it.
It's a cute little toy you have there, Jensen. But don't waste your time. Your Cassie won't work on me.
I think you're wrong, but I don't think it's my place to try to stop you either. Do what you have to do.
I appreciate that, Jensen. I didn't want you to die for a cause that isn't yours.
Hey, Jensen. Zelazny here.
Zelazny? How'd you get this frequency?
You're no stranger to top-secret augmentations, Jensen. You figure it out. In the meantime, just want to let you know I've contacted some of my old pals at Bell Tower. Got them to reassign a couple of local patrols. You should have a few less problems to deal with for a while.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Okay, leave me alone.
Back away, sir. This is none of your business.
That the cause of these disruptions has been linked to a major malfunction in the multi-channel peripheral nerve biochip, a device which transmits neural impulses directly to the brain.
哎，怎么？
So? You have found Zelazny? I cannot stress enough the importance of this task, Mr. Jensen.
I found him.
Really, Mr. Jensen? You have been able to make him understand reason? Will he turn himself in?
It's a long story, Doc. I tracked Zelazny and his men. They were hiding in the sewers. And after talking to him, I decided to let him go.
What? But he is a dangerous man, Mr. Jensen. You should not have done this.
The men Zelazny's after are far more dangerous than he is. His methods are extreme, but I think his cause is justified. To be honest, Doc, I believe what he wants isn't that different from you. An honorable government free of corruption. They could use a man like you.
I had not foreseen such a thing. I don't know, Mr. Jensen. You seem to believe that the end justifies the means, but I don't know. I'll have to think about this. Here is the Praxis kit as promised. Go away. You don't know what you've done.
哎，怎么回事嘛？为什么我们还在这里没有动呢？天哪，那么多人！
Returning to tonight, organization today issued an unprecedented recall on augmentation control.
You must get that chip back, Mr. Jensen.
I got the chip. The cellars are out cold.
Excellent work. Seems Mr. Darrow was right to trust you. We will send people to take care of the terrorists. Could I see the chip?
How about you tell me what's on it first?
Blackmail, Mr. Jensen? Don't waste your time. I won't tell you anything. Besides, there are stones better left unturned. Might as well just give me the chip and leave it at that.
Look, you're a powerful young woman. You're in a position that warrants your access to classified information. I understand that not everybody should get their hands on this, but I'm like you. I work for a powerful man, and I get entrusted with secret information on a daily basis. Plus, I'm the one who busted his ass getting this chip for you.
I guess your point is not entirely without merit. But understand, this information is extremely confidential. It concerns Panchaea, and more specifically, the Hiron Project.
Hiron Project. Never heard of it.
I'm not surprised. It is a well-guarded secret. But without it, Panchaea could not exist. Such an ambitious project. An installation extending all the way to the ocean floor. The pressure exerted against it is constantly shifting. Yet the slightest defect in structural integrity could bring it all down. That's why we needed something powerful and extremely efficient to monitor it, day and night.
You're saying the Hiron Project is some kind of advanced computer?
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
Thank you for your honesty. The information is safe with me, don't worry. Here's your data chip.
Ah, perfect. You don't know what this means, Mr. Jensen. Your help has been invaluable. Thank you. Here you go. Payment as promised. I'm sure Mr. Darrow will wish to congratulate you himself. Expect to hear from him soon.
It seems David has a flair for choosing his people, Mr. Jensen. You have done me a great service today.
Glad I could help. Couldn't let information about something as sensitive as the Hiron Project get in the hands of the wrong people.
No. No, we couldn't. So, Meng Yao told you about the project, I see.
A little.
I'm afraid words can't do it justice. To fully comprehend the ramifications of what's been created in Panchaea, you'd have to see it for yourself. And who knows? Perhaps one day you will.